From space to splashdown. Journey to Earth in 17 hours. Nine-month stay in space ends. Tremendous triumph of humanity. Smiles, waves, and surprise dolphin show. World cheers Sunita's return. Our space girl is back.
I copied, Sonny.
It was so much fun. It was like being on a roller coaster, but then you're just floating around once you got there.
Like Superman. Woo!
You feel like you're actually part of the world, not necessarily part of a country when you're there.
I love my dogs, right? I miss them, and at least for me, it's a finite amount of time, and I'll be back home with them before long. Hi, I'm Astronaut Sunita Williams.
Infectious smile of Sunita Williams.
I have had an amazing career here at NASA. I'll have to say, knock on wood, I've just been really lucky in the right place at the right time. I went to the Naval Academy class of 1987. I was a physical science major. I've been in the Navy now 28 years. One of the greatest things about the Naval Academy is it gives you a lot of opportunities. And one of those opportunities for me was going to dive school on my way to flight school. Right after that, got picked up for test pilot school, tested all the helicopters in the Navy and the Marine. Had the opportunity to come here to Johnson Space Center, and I've been at NASA since 1998. Hi, I'm Astronaut Sunita Williams, and you're watching NASA TV. Get to it seriously.
That's a keeper. You will see that one again.
No, that's too hard. Yeah. Hi, I'm Astronaut Sunita Williams. That wasn't enthusiastic? Just joking. You don't just stand there. Yeah, it took a little while. When I was on my first flight and I was able to see the space station out of the space shuttle window for the first time, that was an amazing gold star, and that is really, really cool.
Well, I have to tell you, this is my first time in space, but if I did have the opportunity to go again, I absolutely would, because it's really fun living up here, for one thing. Floating around is just unbelievable. It's sort of like being Mary Poppins. You just get to fly everywhere, so that's a lot of fun. But that's just a cursory thing. Secondly, all the science that we are doing up here, we're contributing to science projects on Earth, and then further developing our understanding of space and spacecraft and the future of exploration.
The best things about being in space for a long period of time is taking a lot of people along with you for the ride.
The crew running just a few minutes behind their timeline. No impact to what is expected to be a full 6.5-hour spacewalk today. Bria and Sunita Williams.
I copied, Sonny. Hold on one second.
Good view of Mike Lopez Alegria on the right, Sunny Williams on the left, just above the early ammonia servicer.
Thousands of miles away from home. Some lucky students in Delhi are going to get to do just that tonight. We've got a bunch of students with us who are going to be questioning astronaut Sunita Williams, who's in space currently, and they're exceedingly excited about.
My name is Abhishek. I feel in this era of terrorist threats and no peace, space is an avenue which gives a feel of unity to all. What do you think about this?
Up here, you don't see any borders. The world just looks like one beautiful place where people probably are living very peacefully, and it's a great view, and hopefully we get to share it with you through some of our videos and our pictures and some of our words that we send down. So I think space is a great avenue where people are working together, and the International Space Station is a great example of that, where we have over 16 countries working together to build this marvelous engineering project up here.
When they first took off, that's only a minute and a half for the solid rocket boosters, and then only 6 more minutes for the main engines. So as soon as we got up there, you undo your seatbelt, and you can see even before that, your pencil starts to float if you have a pencil, and then your arms just naturally start to float because you're not used to holding them down. And you undo your seatbelt, and then you just start floating out of your seat. We were laughing the whole time. It was so much fun. It was like being on a roller coaster, but then you're just floating around once you got there. However, we went to work right away because there's lots of work to do. So right away we go to work, and I was diving into all the small little cracks and crevices on the spacecraft, trying to help change it and get it all ready. And I think finally my brain understood where I was, and I felt really sick. I think because all this flipping around and twirling around, I didn't know what was going around. So I had some tomato soup the morning before I launched, and it was nice because it was easy to go down and it was very easy to come back up again. Cleaned it right up, and then I was ready to go. But you have to be careful when you think about that, when you're also, if you do get sick, right? Because if you throw up, think about that for a second, it just goes everywhere. So you have to be ready with the bag, ready to catch it. But I felt fine after that. After I got sick once, all was good. I think people ask me, were you really happy to come home? And I think I was, in my emotion, a little more sad to leave the space station because it's a beautiful place, and it's just a great place to work and live. And you feel like you're actually part of the world, not necessarily part of a country when you're there. So, you know, space exploration, even in the United States, even though it seems very far away from here while we're in India at this moment in time, is difficult. It's expensive, and it takes resources, of course, from other projects. But, you know, when you're solving the space problem, like how are we going to do this in space, how are we going to do that in space, it makes you solve problems differently. It makes you think a little bit out of the box. And along the way, you solve other problems that can help people here on Earth.
How to say, shuttle. I was on the mid-deck, and so my main goal was part of the construction of the space station in that flight. This flight, the 3 of us working together in the Soyuz closely, it's a lot different being on the flight deck. And then the mission for the space station now has moved on to science, and so we have a lot on our plate, like Yuri mentioned, but a big part of that is the science exploration. So I'm looking forward to that aspect of this mission. So it's going to be a very busy increment, but of course there's got to be time to look at the Earth, because that's going to be one of the best things.
Yuri, are you ready?
At the Baikonur Cosmodrome is clear. The Soyuz rocket is ready to begin its journey.
Launch key inserted.
T-minus 5 minutes and counting as you hear the launch key has been inserted. Again, on your screen is Sunny Williams there on the right-hand side. Yuri Malenchenko there in the middle. He is the commander of this Soyuz TMA-05M. 3, 2, 1.
Turbo pumps, that's flight speed.
Liftoff. Liftoff of the Soyuz TMA-05M carrying Sunny Williams, Yuri Malenchenko, and Aki Hoshide on a 2-day journey to the International Space Station.
Sunny Williams had took time off to participate in the Malibu triathlon exercise using various exercise equipment on the station to simulate the swimming. She had shown here she's actually using the Advanced Resistive Exercise device. This is the system that simulates weightlifting here on Earth. And here this simulates the muscles that she would be using as in the swimming portion of the triathlon.
In Houston Station on 2, we're done with the simulated swim in the transition to get ready for the bike over in the lab.
Houston, copy.
On her, with the Capcom, who was serving as Capcom yesterday was Josh Matthew. Now transitioning to the cycle portion of the triathlon.
Big thanks. I'm happy to be done. It wasn't easy, and I'm sure everybody out in California is really excited to be done too. Take care and thank you.
Hello, I'm Sunny Williams. I'm up here on the International Space Station. Now, I want to say where we are. So right now, we're in the Japanese laboratory. It's one laboratory out of many here on the International Space Station. So this is Node 2. This is a really cool module. Of course, most of these modules you'll see they have 4 sides and they're put together. That way we could sort of work on a flat plane, either a wall, a floor, another wall, or the ceiling. But you know, again, all you have to do is turn yourself and your reference changes. The reason I'm bringing that up is because this is where 4 out of 6 of us sleep. And so people always ask about sleeping in space. Do you lie down? Are you in a bed? Not really, because it doesn't matter. You don't really have the sensation of lying down. You just sit in your sleeping bag. So here's one sleep station right here. I'm going in right now. So I'm inside. It's sort of like a little phone booth, but it's pretty comfy. I've got a sleeping bag right here that we sleep in, so we don't have sort of like a little bit of a cover. We don't fly all over the place. Here's a pretty cool place. This is sort of like in your house where everybody meets in the morning. After you wash your face, brush your teeth, you want to find something for breakfast. And this is our kitchen. You might notice there's all sorts of foods here. It's like opening the refrigerator. You got all your different stuff that you want to have. Drinks, meats, eggs, vegetables, cereals, bread, snacks. And that's a good place. That's where you find all the candy. I'm here with my 2 buddies in the airlock. Actually, these are 2 spacesuits that are ready, primed up to go outside, as we call it, to go do a spacewalk in case we have to do anything outside. Remember, space is really cold and really hot, and it's also the vacuum of space with no pressure, and so some of the equipment doesn't work well all the time. So we might have to go out and do a spacewalk.
As Sunny Williams and Aki Hoshide dancing to Madonna's Vogue, an exercise that also helps purge the nitrogen from their bloodstreams. A socket that crew members will be using to a good view of Sunny Williams out on the P6 truss, in between the 2 solar array wings that are on the P4. This is Hoshide moving away from the Z1 toolbox, headed back to the airlock.
550. We'll get you up for 12 check.
to turn it up this way, just so you could see the hatch, and you could see Kevin. It's a little bit small, but we'll come in and show you around. We're just starting to get ready. We're preparing a couple days ago for our ride home. It's a little bit squishy, but everybody asks, how do you sit in the Soyuz? And you sort of sit in your seat like this. The seat is molded to your body, and so you can just sort of squish in here and be pretty relaxed. Everybody has a handmade seat for them. And then, of course, there's a control panel, and that's where we do most of our actions and work right here. There's hand controllers, which you can fly the vehicle with, and there's a stick right here, primarily used for communications, where we're trying to talk to the ground. So 3 of us fit in here. Like I said, it's a little squishy, but somehow it seems like we all managed to get in here and fit pretty well, and it's a pretty safe ride home. You're probably wondering, what's all this junk behind us? Well, it's all of our parachute, first of all, and then it's all of our survival gear, just in case we end up landing in some strange place on the planet and nobody's there to rescue us right away. We have all sorts of survival gear with us, keeping us safe in here. So they pretty much thought of everything. And we'll be home on the planet within the next 12 hours. Pretty shocking.
This is Mission Control Houston. Touchdown confirmed. The front screen of the Russian Mission Control Center with the words Jest Posadka. They've landed. Expedition 33 is home. Sunny Williams, Yuri Malenchenko, Aki Hoshide, touching down northeast of Arkelek. This is Mission Control Houston. We're now getting live video of the crew. Cheers going up from the flight control team here in Mission Control. Good view of Sunny Williams. Extraction of the crew very quickly. Sunny Williams wrapping up her second flight into space and a total of 322 days in space on her 2 missions. She conducted 3 spacewalks to emerge as the all-time leading female in terms of spacewalking time, to have their Sokol launch and entry suits removed. There's that familiar infectious smile of Sunny Williams at the landing site.
A little bit nervous to think about. So was it much different to be the commander on Expedition 33 than being the flight engineer on your previous mission, and how was it different?
Yeah, well, I think it's more nervous to think about than actually do. When I think it's, you know, it becomes natural up there. I mean, it's the place that you live, it's the place that you work, it's what you're doing. It's just you know, becomes your life, and so you don't really think about it too much while you're up there. So I think the nervousness went away. I had a great crew that I worked with, Yuri and Aki, and then when Kevin and Oleg and Yevgeny came on board, it just felt like a big family. Those guys, they're the 2 Russians, Oleg and Yevgeny, it's their first flight, they're rookies, and so they were calling me Mama. So, so I think that was the only big change when those guys came on board. I received a very special gift in one of my crew care packages, and I just wanted to show it off to everybody in India and wish India a very happy Independence Day for August 15th. And when people ask me about India, what do I think about? I think that it's a very colorful place, not only from the colors of the beautiful flag, but of all the people who are there. It's a very creative, colorful, wonderful place, and I'm very proud to be from there. So happy Independence Day, everybody in India.
A battery of camera persons, euphoric relatives and eager fans. This is what greeted Sunita on her arrival at the Sardar Patel International Airport in Ahmedabad. Sunita looked distinctly awed by the hero's welcome she received. Probably because 9 years ago when she had come to India, she was like any other visitor from abroad. But today, she's someone who has breached the final frontier.
Oh, it's just overwhelming. The number of people and the heartfelt welcome that I've had, it's just been overwhelming. It's really wonderful, and I feel very welcome and very loved by everybody here, so it's great. Thank you.
Gujarat's Chief Minister, in his first encounter, was all praise for the astronaut. It seems that the Chief Minister now knows that it's not only him, but also Sunita Williams, who has become the pride of Gujarat.
Hello, everybody in Jalasa. Kemcho. Know that I feel this is a very happy occasion to come to my father's ancestral home. I love being Indian, so I'm so happy to have brought it with me into space. I'm so happy to be Gujarati, and I'm so happy to be from here. Sunita Williams. India is a little jewel that sticks out from usually underneath the clouds that hover above the Himalayas. And so it's pretty obvious where India is. My father's from the west coast of India, so I can easily find Gujarat when I'm looking at India there. And it's beautiful. I mean, apparently, or obviously, where the Himalayas hit the Tibetan plateau, you can obviously see that, wow, something happened bigger, like plate tectonics, or something happened here to make the Himalayas that big, and it's pretty impressive, and it makes you really realize that the planet is itself living and breathing. So it's pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm. Is space something that should be promoted for tourism?
Oh, I seriously believe so. And their model is not for leaving people in space for a long period of time. It's just actually going up and then coming back down. And I think what's good about that is it advances technology, makes us understand how to get to space. And I think more and more people going to space and having that view is just going to help all of us around the world, because you'll get a different perspective.
We are on the brink of launching American astronauts on American rockets from American soil for the first time since 2011, the retirements of the space shuttles. And so this is an exciting time. We have two providers for this new capability. We call it Commercial Crew. Sunny, tell me about a day in the life of Sunny since you've been selected as a Commercial Crew partner.
Yeah, it's been a little bit crazy, but fun. I have to say that. Anything you're doing in the space business is fun. Previously, there was 4 of us who were selected for the Commercial Crew cadre, NASA astronauts, and we divided our time between both companies, SpaceX and Boeing. And now, since the announcement, 2 of us have come over to the Boeing side and the other 2 to the SpaceX side. So we've got to focus our training and attention on this spacecraft. And not only this training, Chris is underestimating the other amount of things that we're doing. We're also doing a lot of testing. Sort of like he was mentioning, this is a new spacecraft, so there's still a lot of things to look at inside the cockpit and how people live in there and how actually we're going to operate it. That's the next step after the development.
Contact capture. Nice. You're in. I should have been an astronaut.
This program, I think, is going to open up the door again for kids today to realize that the sky isn't even the limit. There's all sorts of amazing things that we can do. First of all, make aircraft, make spacecraft, and then take spacecraft and do amazing things, make a space station, and then go even farther. I think this program will open the door for us to leave low Earth orbit.
Peony 1, LC.
Go for Peony 1.
Verify HB storage mass.
And we all know that when the going gets tough, and it often does, the tough get going. And you have. And Sonny and I are honored to share this dream of spaceflight with each and every one of you. So with that, LC, let's get going. Now let's put some fire in this rocket. Good handle.
Lots of cheering here in the room. Big hugs. Sunny Williams coming through in her blue flight suit. Oh.
And followed shortly behind by Commander of Starliner, Butch Wilmore, now back on the space station, the third visit for both astronauts and the first crewed flight test of the Starliner spacecraft.
Tell me, how long you've spent a lot of time in space. How much time have you spent in space?
A little over 320 days.
A little over 320 days. So this time, when you go back, how long are you planning to stay?
Probably 6 months.
Another 6 months?
Yeah, 6 months, and I hope we get to fill up the other 2 seats with some of our international partners. So
that's
sort of like
great.
you were talking about, and fill out the complement to make us 7 people on the International Space Station like it was designed for.
Indian origin astronaut Sunita Williams stuck in space. She and her crewmate Butch Wilmore are stranded after glitches were found in the Boeing spaceship they are traveling in. Sunita's return to Earth may now be delayed.
Commander Matt Dominic as she gets suited up in her seat, ready for undock.
Family up on the International Space Station. There's 7 of us up here, and so we're going to get to enjoy company together.
And of course, Christmas is Christ. Hallelujah, a Savior is born.
So from all of us to all of you, Merry Christmas.
Been locked.
And Ephraim saying November is correct.
Marshall, are you back? Yes.
You just set a record for spacewalks. What was that like to be the woman who has walked more hours in space than any other?
You know, it's all sort of a matter of happenstance. I was really lucky to be in the astronaut corps when we were building this amazing International Space Station and had the opportunity to do a number of construction spacewalks. And then, you know, coming up here this time, it was not the plan, but we were ready. You know, Butch and I prepared, and we're fully up, ready to do anything for the ISS. So it was maybe good fortune that we got to do it, and a couple of the spacewalks were some pretty critical things, and we were able to get it done.
And there you see it on your screen, drogue deployment.
Drogue descent rate nominal.
That was a live view from our recovery vessel.
And splashdown. Crew 9 back on Earth.
What are you looking forward to when you get back?
My husband makes a good latte, so I'm looking forward to his latte. I'm also looking forward to seeing the rest of my family and my dogs and jumping in the ocean. I think that will be really nice to just be back on Earth and feel Earth that way.